Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. Jo here of SportsGrid. It's time for Puck It with Jo. We have 10 games on deck today, and we need a bounce back. Yesterday it was cold out there. We did get the Winnipeg Jets in the first period on the puck line, but man, it was a cold day otherwise. So let's have a bounce back. Matt, good to see you. Let's make some freaking money. You are right. We're going to start with the matchup here. Just one second. We're going to look at the Detroit Red Wings taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Now, all odds are over at FanDuel. And right now, the line is sitting at this one. Let me just find it. Total 6.5 minus 118 to the under, minus 104 to the over, plus 110 for the Red Wings here on the road. And the Buffalo Sabres coming in at minus 132. I do think there's value on the Red Wings here on the road to be able to get the win over the Buffalo Sabres. Langenkamp has been hot, though, for the Sabres. He's been quite surprising. He's got a 2.43 goals against average and a 9.15 save percentage. Now, ever since December, we've been seeing him really heating up out there. There's been a couple of things I've been looking at in this matchup. One, the Red Wings really fighting for that wild card spot. We know the Buffalo Sabres just out of the race here, sitting sixth in the Atlantic. The Red Wings coming in fifth. Alex Leon is expected in goal tonight. He's got a 2.93 goals against average and a 0.908 save percentage. Now, they've lost their last five. This team needs to get back on track. They're out the loss to the Vegas Golden Knights, 5-3. They've only scored 8 goals over their last 5 games. So offensively, they've been struggling to find the back of the net. And also, we look at them on the defensive side, and the struggles have continued on the defensive side as well. They've been giving up way too many goals. So I think there's a couple things you can do. You can look at the Detroit Red Wings on the money line because we're getting the value with them when they're fighting for a wild card spot. You could look at the Buffalo Sabres team total under 3.5. I do think this is a solid way to go. This is coming in at minus 142, though. So you're going to have to lay the juice in this situation, which I don't love. They've gone under this in their last 4 games, and 3 of their last 10 has seen 9 of their last 10 has seen 3 goals or less. So this team has been struggling as well to find the back of the net. And with Alex Leon in net tonight, I do think we see the Sabres stay under that 3.5. My issue here with the full game is, will we see the Red Wings explode offensively? I'm guessing not. I think this is a 3-2 style game, so I would take the under 6.5. Not my favorite game on deck, but we talk about every single one out here. So the under 6.5 is coming in at minus 115. I do think we could see an explosive first period, though, as these goaltenders get caught early. I'd look at the over 1.5 in the first period at minus 132, and the both teams to score in the first period at plus 164. After that, I think things slow down, especially because you look at how hot Langenkamp has been as of late. The Red Wings, with only 8 goals in the last 5 games, I just don't see that explosiveness coming out of them versus the Buffalo Sabres and Langenkamp with how hot he's been. Happy Tuesday, Kelly. Kev, good to see you here today. Yeah, they got to stop the bleeding. That is for sure. Okay, let's look at the New York Rangers and the Carolina Hurricanes. Way better game here, playoff style hockey. 2 teams that I can trust are going to come out and give us their best tonight. So the New York Rangers at plus 142, the Carolina Hurricanes at minus 172, total 5.5. We're laying juice to the over 5.5 at minus 124. The under is coming in at plus 102. I have to look at this under. I think this is playoff style hockey all day long in this one. Now, 3 of the last 4 games between these two have gone over that total. So I understand anyone looking at the over 5.5 because it's so easy for this one to go over that number with how strong offensively these teams are. But I think defense and goaltending shows up in this game. Like I said, I'm looking for playoff style hockey. Igor Shesterkin expected here for the New York Rangers, and Kochetkov here for the Carolina Hurricanes. Strong goaltenders. We look at defense. The kill here for the Carolina Hurricanes is killing opponents' power play at 85% of the time, 3rd best overall in the league. And the New York Rangers kill is 83.5%. Now, the Carolina Hurricanes notoriously score on the Rangers when they get up on the power play. the Rangers have to stay out of the box. They have to play a clean game here on the road. And if they do, they have every opportunity of actually winning this matchup. When I look at the value we're getting on the New York Rangers, I just can't say no, you guys. I wouldn't put a full unit on the New York Rangers because this is going to come down to a little bit of puck luck out there on the ice, which goaltender just misses that high danger shot over his right shoulder or left shoulder. I do think the Rangers, though, have every opportunity of pulling off the win here in Carolina. The Rangers on the money line with that value. They're 7-3 in their last 10 versus the Carolina Hurricanes too. So they have been strong in this matchup. First period under 1.5. I'm taking as well. The under 1.5 is coming in at -112. I'm also going to put a little bit of money on the no goal in the first 10 minutes. That's coming in at +110. When I'm looking at a lower scoring first period, I love finding plus money somehow there. I really do think the defenses and goaltending will be the strongest, especially in this first period. My fear of this game is that third period, this one going over because of an empty net situation with the pull goaltender. So we could face that if this is a 3-2 style game in that third period. You know the goaltender is going to be pulled. This is a battle of the Metro. So we look at the Carolina Hurricanes. They're only 4 points behind the New York Rangers. The Rangers leading the Metro right now, sitting first. How can I say no to the value here on the New York Rangers? Now, Matt Rempe, will not be on the ice. He had that nasty elbow to the head of their last opponent. So we'll see how long until he gets back out there on the ice. You love the Rangers and the under possible draw. Yeah, this one has every opportunity of going to overtime. That is my fear with this total of 5.5. If it ends up 3-3 going into OT, of course, we go over that total of 5.5. Yeah, the slow first period. I really do think he's got to start looking at these teams really. And that's what happens. We see those slow first periods or goaltenders be hit early and then a really strong second period. So live betting these games, you guys, I tell you, if we see those quick goals in the first period, come back, take the under if we see those goals come in the first, because then this total is going to jump to 6.5. It could jump to, like, if we see 3 goals in that first period, it jumps to 7.5. Take it to the under, because coming out in the second and third period, you're going to see these defenses and goaltenders, everyone settled down out there. They don't want to make these mistakes. I would probably even still take an under 5.5 if we get 3 goals in that first period. So that's what I'd be looking at, you guys. We're going to talk about the Avs and the Wild on the puck line in just a second here. I'd be a little cautious with the Avs today. Calgary's playing with us against the world mentality, which is dangerous. You can look, okay, let's get back to this game. The New York Rangers, I would look at shots on goal props, even though we know the Carolina Hurricanes really limit. I'm afraid to take any goal props. So, and you're not getting much value on the shots on goal. So maybe just stay off. Let's look at the Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Montreal Canadiens. This is a 7 o'clock Eastern matchup as well. Current lines on this one. The Columbus Blue Jackets are -106, -113 for the Montreal Canadiens, and total of 6.5. Now this 6.5, you are laying the juice to the over at -122. I do think there's value here in this one to the over. We know there's goal scorers on both sides of the puck. Elvis in net tonight for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and Premier's for the Montreal Canadiens. Neither of these goaltenders really have strong numbers. Premier's coming in with a 3.04 goals against average and a 901 save percentage. And then we look at Elvis here. It's 3.21, 904. So pretty similar, but I do think you're seeing a lot of these players really look to kind of stack their numbers for the season, and against an opponent here that's really sitting same sort of positioning. I think we can see those goals coming in on these goaltenders. I know Elvis can play really elite at times, but his record just isn't showing it. Now Columbus is off that loss to the Predators. They lost at home 2-1. And we've seen the Montreal Canadiens lose their last 2. Now, I keep talking about Nick Suzuki. He's been phenomenal for the Montreal Canadiens. His anytime goal coming in at +145. Because I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. And look at him for the 2+ points as well. That's coming in +162. If you want a safer bet here, his 3+ shots on goals coming in at -110. But that being said, I probably prefer the anytime goal over those shots. If you're looking at Cole Caulfield here from Montreal again. His anytime goals plus 120. His 5+ shots on goal, that's you can't take him for 4. He doesn't get value till 5. It's 5+ at plus 120. He can get it tonight. You look at the Columbus Blue Jackets are allowing 33.6 shots on goal per game. The Montreal Canadiens averaging 28.4. Cole Caulfield has been lighting things up as of late, and I do expect him to have a lot of shots in this one tonight. Shane Monahan also. Anytime goal for Shane Monahan, I like in this. When we're looking at the Columbus Blue Jackets, Bonjenner coming in for the anytime goal at plus 180 and Johnny Gaudreau at plus 240. So I think between all of those players, you can look at one of them to be able to find the back of the net. My most faith is Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield over Bonjenner and Johnny Gaudreau. Okay, the next game, and this is an ugly one, you guys. So be really cautious when you're betting teams that have given up. The Pittsburgh Penguins have given up. I'm not sure what we're going to see out of them tonight. Sidney Crosby is not happy out there. The whole core of the Pittsburgh Penguins are not happy. Then we have the Ottawa Senators, and the Ottawa Senators have been completely struggling. They've lost their last 7. So putting money on either of these teams just doesn't seem right now. You're getting the Pittsburgh Penguins on the road at minus 120. Plus 100 for the Ottawa Senators, total 6.5. It's actually juiced to the under at minus 115, minus 105 to the over. You look at this, and there should be a way to make some money. Tristan Jarry coming in net for the Pittsburgh Penguins has a 2.71 goals against average and a .908 save percentage. Now, there is no doubt in my mind that he is a stronger goaltender than Korpisalo. Korpisalo in net for the Ottawa Senators. He's got a 3.39 goals against average and an .887 save percentage. He's got a 2-5-1 record versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. So he hasn't been solid. It's a 3.02 goals against average and a 912 save percentage. He gets peppered out there versus the Penguins. But are we going to see a Penguins team actually show up in this game? And that is my struggles. I do believe this team has given up. The last game for Jarry versus the Sens, he allowed 3 goals on 9 shots on goal. He got yanked off the ice. So where do we go with this one? It's a hard one to see where we actually go. The Ottawa Senators have won the last 3 meetings, including in December and October. In December, they won 5-4, and in October, 5-2. So I do think looking at the Ottawa Senators to come out and get the win would give you the value. You got a home dog in the Ottawa Senators against a team like the Pittsburgh Penguins have given up. I haven't seen play out of the Ottawa Senators that really said we've completely given up. That being said, who's going to be on the ice for the Ottawa Senators tonight? Chabot is day-to-day. We also have Josh Norris. He's gone for, he went for shoulder. Why can't I say shoulder? So, shoulder surgery. It's because I was trying to say both words at once. He's not going to be on the ice for the rest of the year. So I don't know who's going to be really, out there. I would look at the over 6.5. Both of these defenses have been absolutely struggling. So the first and second matchup of the season, we did see this go over. We look at the Penguins. They've allowed 20 goals in their last 5 road games. So that is very much against its defense and goaltending. And the last 3 games at home for the Ottawa Senators have averaged 3 goals. So I do think this is a higher scoring one. And it will come down to if the Penguins actually decide to shoot the puck. So, yeah, no play on the Penguins. It's just so hard in this one. And the Penguins have quit. So if you're going to take a side, I'd take the Ottawa Senators over a team that has quit and who is frustrated out there on the ice. Let's talk about a team that could be barking here on the road. I know everyone hates to hear a barking dog that's this big of a dog. The San Jose Sharks. They're huge dogs today versus the Philadelphia Flyers. They're coming in at plus 265, minus 335 here for the Flyers, total of 5.5. Minus 140 to the over and plus 114 to the under. If you want to take the Sharks on the puck line, plus 1.5, it's plus 108. The Philadelphia Flyers, minus 1.5 is minus 130. Okay, it looks like this should be a game where the Flyers easily get this win at home. I'm just not buying into it. Urjan in goal tonight. He's got a 2.62 goals against average and an 898 save percentage. They're off the loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, in which they got completely shut out, 7-0 on the road. They're sitting 3rd in the Metro, and this team is fighting for a place. Now, when we look at the Sharks rolling in here, they've won 4 of the last 5 meetings, including in November, 2-1, and 8 of the last 10. They've absolutely dominated the Philadelphia Flyers. We're getting such good odds on the Sharks. It's so hard, you guys, not to put a little bit of money for me on the money line. Now, it is the San Jose Sharks. We know their struggles. They're 6-21, 1-3 on the road this season. This isn't a team that has been profitable if you're backing them on the road. Chirota, their goaltender tonight, he's being a sieve. He's got a 4.60 goals against average and an 8.64 save percentage. 1-2-1 so far this season. Now, he allowed only one goal, though, from 32 shots on goal versus the Sens. He had a bad game versus the Islanders. He allowed 7 goals on 33 shots on goal. Versus Dallas, he only allowed 2 goals on 38 shots on goal. 4 goals in 12 shots versus Edmonton, then got yanked. His save shot on goal prop tonight is a 30.5. You guys know when we're looking at a weak goaltender, as soon as they give me a 30.5, the books are covering themselves, expecting this to go over. They've juiced the over at -130. I think he hits it. I think he goes over 30.5. If he can come out and save over 30.5 save shots on goal at -130, I do think the Sharks have every ability with how they've dominated in this matchup to get the win. So I'm going to take him over 30.5 save shots on goal. I'm going to take the Sharks +1.5 at +108. I'm going to take both of those for a full unit. I'm going to put half a unit on the Sharks on the money line. It's just too good of plus money for me to ignore. So it's dangerous. Flyers will win. Flyers should win. Flyers are the better team. I absolutely know it, but you know they had me at that plus money. Kelly, thanks for being here. Yeah, Sharks definitely have dominated this matchup. Sharks and the under. They've dominated. They completely dominated. So when a team's won 8 of the last 10 and you're giving me plus 265 on the money line for them, I have to take a little bit on them. Let's look at the Florida Panthers and Dallas Stars. This is another fantastic game out there. Current odds on this one. The Florida Panthers at -102, -118 for the Dallas Stars. Total of 6.5, -134 to the under. Right away, I have to take this one to the under. I think this is playoff style hockey all day long. These two teams should come out so cautious and so defensive mindset that this one stays under. I like the under 6.5 for the full game and the under 1.5 for the first period. I would also look at the no goals in the first 10 minutes. I could see this one going 1-0 into that third. I really do think we got a low scoring battle here. As long as Jake Ottinger does enough. No, Jake Ottinger scares me, you guys. You saw him versus the San Jose Sharks, how many goals he allowed. He's been up and down. Even though his last 4 games out, he's been able to record the win. I don't like what I've seen out of him. The Sharks putting 6 goals on him, it's not good. So I do lean to the Florida Panthers. I think they can come in to Dallas and get the win. They won back in December 5-4. So that was a higher scoring game, but I'm not seeing this one being a higher scoring game. Bobrovsky in net tonight for the Florida Panthers. He's got a 2.29 goals against average and a 918 save percentage. It's first in the Atlantic for the Florida Panthers, first in the Central for the Dallas Stars. These teams should play playoff style hockey. I know a lot of people wanting Dallas to get this win at home. Ekblad is day-to-day on the defensive side, or actually he's out, I believe, on the defensive side of the puck for the Florida Panthers. So we're going to need next man up mentality for the Florida Panthers. But I like what we've seen out of Brandon Montour, and he's really solid out there. I think he gets his block shots on goal tonight. So I would look at that if you can get it on your book. I would even go up to 3.5 block shots on goal. I do think these teams play completely defensive hockey. Now, for the defensive side of the Dallas Stars, Chris Tanev was added from the Calgary Flames. He's phenomenal out there as well. Look at his block shots. He's been able to get a goal out there with the Stars in 2 games ago, I believe, with them. So give me the under. Give me the under all day long in this one, you guys. It's going to be crazy out there on the ice. Florida Panthers can win it, though. Let's look at the Arizona Coyotes and Minnesota Wild. Now, someone brought this one up. The Minnesota Wild on that puck line laying 1.5 is +122 versus the Arizona Coyotes. You think they should be able to do that? The Arizona Coyotes a +1.5 at -146. Now, the Dallas Stars are -118 on the money line. they're not. They're minus the Minnesota Wild. I don't know why I went back to the Dallas Stars. Minnesota Wild are minus 200 on the money line. The Arizona Coyotes are plus 164. That total is 6.5 to the under at minus 118. I do think the Minnesota Wild have every opportunity of winning this and winning it big. I would take them on the puck line before I took the Arizona Coyotes on the puck line. The only problem here is their last two games have needed overtime, and they're 0-8 on that puck line following an overtime win. So the trends are going against them covering that puck line, but at home they've been 14-18 on the puck line. Arizona's gone 18-15, so they have been stronger on the road on that puck line. But I just look at the mindset here of the Minnesota Wild. Fleury is in net. He's got a 2.86 goals against average, and Vejmelka on the other side has a 3.51. I do think the Wild at home here, off the win over the Preds in overtime, can get a big win. I think if you want to bet it, though, other than taking the puck line, and yes, you'll get great plus money, maybe put half a unit in reg at minus 130 and then the other half on that puck line. So at plus 200, laying with the 1.5 at plus 200. I also like the team total here of the Minnesota Wild. The team total over 3.5 is coming in at minus 118. I was looking at the Arizona Coyotes team total over 2.5. That's minus 116. I could see this being a 5-3 game. So I don't hate the Arizona Coyotes team total as well. Kaprizov here for the power play point is interesting for the Minnesota Wild. He's coming in at plus 130. You look at the kill here of the Arizona Coyotes, it's not strong. It's only 75.8% of the time they're able to kill their opponent's power play. And the power play strong, 21.9% of the time here for the Wild. So Kaprizov power play point at plus 130. He is leading the Wild with 70 points on the season, and I do think he can get that power play point tonight. So Wild and reg over 3.5, a little sprinkle on the puck line for the Minnesota Wild, and Kaprizov for the power play point. Or you could just take him for the point. You're going to have to lay more juice. Next game, the Anaheim Ducks taking on Chicago Blackhawks. This is a pick on minus 110 either way. If you think the Chicago Blackhawks can get a big win laying the 1.5 on the puck line, you're going to get great value. It's like plus 200. That total, 5.5, minus 134 to the over. I'm going to stay off a side, off a total. I'm just going to look at one thing. We got Connor Bedard for the 2+ goals last time out. I'm going to look at him for 1+ goals in this one. He was able to get 2 goals and an assist in the last game. So if you want to look at him for 2+ points, the Anaheim Ducks take a ton of penalties. You could also look at him for the power play point. The anytime goals coming in at plus 145. I would put maybe a quarter unit on the anytime goal, quarter unit on 2+ points, a quarter unit on 2+ goals, and a quarter unit on the hat trick. I think Connor Bedard's in for another big night. Now 46 points over 51 games, 19 goals, 27 assists. His shots on goal last time versus the Arizona Coyotes, he was able to get 7 shots and those 2 goals and 1 assist. So 5 shots on goal versus Washington. So if you want to look at him for 5+ shots on goal, there are some games where he's limited and has only 4 shots on goal, but is still able to get, 2 goals. So be careful with that. I would take his goals versus those shots. Yeah, Bedard cashed big for us. And so hopefully he can cash big for us again in this one. I have faith in him here at home versus the Anaheim Ducks. You look at the Anaheim Ducks, they allow an average of 3.56 goals per game. They're allowing their opponents to pepper John Gibson with 33 shots on average. And John Gibson has a 3.22 goals against average and an 8.96 save percentage. So I don't trust him. So Bedard, it's Bedard props across the board for me. Now, looking at the next game here, we have the Colorado Avalanche versus the Calgary Flames. Current odds, Calgary at plus 140, minus 170 for the Avs, total of 6.5, minus 120 to the over, minus 102 to the under. Calgary minus 1.5 or plus 1.5 on the puck lines, plus 160 or minus 164. So you can't hit it. The Arizona or Colorado Avalanche minus 1.5 is plus 136. I wanted to look at something here. I wanted to look if Connor Zary was in the lineup, if they're giving us any props. It looks like he is still out. We do have Matt Coronado in a net or out there on the ice. He's plus 410 for the anytime goal for Calgary. I do like that. I think Calgary can stay competitive in this one. We're seeing Calgary playing us against the world kind of mentality, and the puck line is too juiced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at Calgary's team total over 2.5. It's pricey at -134, but I do think they can get 3 goals in this one. I would look at that, or I would look at the Avs team total over 3.5. Markstrom is now day to day, and Calgary has recalled Wolf from the AHL, so it should be Dan Vladar in net tonight. Now, that being said, we don't have Georgiev in net tonight for Colorado. We have Ananen in net. So he's got a 2.33 goals against average and a 929 save percentage. And he's strong, but not the strongest out there. And I do think when we look at Calgary here, with how disappointing that last game was, we should see 3 goals out of them. This is the first night of a back-to-back, too, for Colorado, and they want everyone they can get. They're sitting third in the Central, but I think this one they allow those goals to come in. I think we've got a higher scoring game here, so I like the player props. Cale Makar for 2+ points is plus 230. So much value with him. Nathan McKinnon, 2+ points is -132. I think these points are coming in, and this is a game I would definitely look at the player props. Let's look at some of those goal scorers in this one and give you the best value, I think. So Nathan McKinnon is -110 and Rantanen coming in at +125, both for Colorado. Now, Nazem Kadri has been strong for Calgary. He's coming in at +210. And I like Blake Coleman, the value on him at +250. And then Cale Makar at +310. So that's where I would go. Kuzmenko for Calgary is +310. And Chernovich is coming in at +220. So I would look at player props, put a quarter unit on your favorite here because I do think they have every ability to win. Or the Avs on the money line. Yeah, the Avs are just too pricey on the money line. So if you like the Avs and you think they're going to be able to win this, I will look at that 60-minute line, the Avs in reg, because I do think you're better off taking them there. I don't know if Calgary can push them to OT in this one. Okay, hang on. I'm getting third period goal scorer. I don't want that. I want the Avs in 60. The Avs in 60 is coming in at -110. So if you really want to bet the Avs, I would look at it there, or put them in a parlay piece on the money line. The odds -170 is dangerous. I completely agree with you. I am a little worried about the Avs in this matchup tonight. So this is the first game of a Pacific road trip. They have the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow, the Oilers on Saturday, and the St. Louis Blues on Tuesday. It's a hard road trip. Now they've won their last 3. OT win versus the Minnesota Wild on Friday at home. So they've had a while. It's now Tuesday. They should beat Calgary. Calgary is a sell-off team. The problem with Calgary as a sell-off team is these players are playing hungry. They're not playing like the Pittsburgh Penguins. This team hasn't given up. These players are playing so hard out there. My concern right now with Calgary is Dan Vladar will be in. We were expecting Markstrom earlier in the day. So I like Calgary's team total over 2.5. I think they can get 3 goals, but I also like the Avs team total over 3.5. I think they can find 4 goals on Vladar. It's gonna be an interesting game. But if you want to take the Avs in 60, they could get this win in 60 minutes. I don't see this one going to overtime. So, yeah, first game home for Calgary as well. Okay, the last game here is the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Seattle Kraken. Odds on FanDuel. Let me just pull them up and get back to the main page here. Okay, so Vegas is -150. That line has moved during the day. +125 here for the Seattle Kraken. Total of 5.5, -130 to the over. I have to take this one to the over. We look at both of these teams and how the defenses have been struggling, and it seems contradictory when we look at the goaltending here. Aiden Hill and Grubauer should be absolutely phenomenal in net. The problem is how many goals both of these teams have been giving up. The Seattle Kraken trending to that over at home. 6 of their last 9 games at home have gone over that total. And Vegas here, they've been giving up so many goals. They're also 0-9 on the puck line as a favorite following a win. So they are coming off a win over the Red Wings at home 5-3 on Saturday. So they're not coming out and really dominating teams at -150. I can't take them on the money line, but they don't cover that puck line. Now, Noah Hanovan is in the lineup. hurdle that they got from the Sharks. He won't be in the lineup till closer to the playoffs, you guys. So something to remember there. This team is struggling without Mark Stone out there on the ice. They're fourth in the Pacific, and the Seattle Kraken are sitting fifth in the Pacific. Now, the Kraken won back in January 3-0, but Vegas won the 3 games prior and 8 of the last 10. So I do think Vegas is the right side in this. Are we getting value? No. And we got to find value when we're betting on these teams. I do think the Kraken's team total over 2.5 at -124 is a nice way to look. Vegas in their last 5 games have been giving up an average of 4.8 goals per game. So Vegas has been giving up these goals each and every game for their last 5. The Kraken, we know that they do struggle in some situations to score, but I do think that they put 3 goals on the board. They did it last time versus Vegas, so I think they can do it here on their home ice. Now, Dunn is day to day, and Schwartz is day to day out there, and I know this team has been inconsistent. So if you don't want to take the Seattle Kraken's team total, I do think the full game over 5.5 at -130 has value. I can't see this one staying under that number. And I know that Vegas has been struggling to score as well. And we got elite goaltenders, but the defenses have been the problem as of late for both of these teams. Now, Vegas overall in the season allowing 2.95 goals per game and 30.9 shots on goal. And the Seattle Kraken allowing 2.78 and 30 shots on goal. The Vegas Golden Knights do have a stronger kill at 80.1. But the power play is converting at a stronger rate for the Seattle Kraken at 21%. So back and forth battle here. I do think Vegas, but I can't get the value on Vegas and the over on the Kraken's team total. It's just too low in my mind. Yeah, the Kraken on the money line have every opportunity of pulling off this win at home. And that's where I'm liking their team total over that 2.5. Kraken need the win more than Vegas. That is true, for sure. So you look at these home teams like this in these situations, and they can pull it out. They really can. They have the Caps on Thursday, the Preds on Saturday, and the Sabres on Monday for the Seattle Kraken. And you look at Vegas, they've lost their past 3 road games. They really need to get back on track on the road. They got a big win over the Red Wings, but that was at home, you guys. I don't understand what's happening in Vegas on the road right now. Their overall road record on the season sitting 14, 13, 3 and 2. And we look at the Kraken at home. They're sitting 14, 12, 4 and 1. So let's make some money tonight, you guys. We need a big bounce back off of yesterday. I will be on Game Time Decisions at 7:25 Eastern. So come over and join me over there. But yeah, without Dylan Larkin. They did beat him without Larkin, and that's right because Larkin on the ice provides that support up the middle, and Vegas took the opportunity and just destroyed them up the middle. So let's go Kraken. You guys have convinced me here. Kevin, you convinced me. Plus 125 for the Seattle Kraken. I'm going to hit it. You guys, all the best in all of your bets. Let's make some freaking money. Thank you so much for being here each and every day. Make sure you download the SportsGrid app. You can find it at the Google Store, the Apple Store, and it's all free. And there's tons of bets over there on it. You can follow all of your hosts as well. You guys, all the best today. We'll see you later.